So, carrying on from the lecture, we're looking at the practical implementation of depth of field within Maya. Setup is easy. What we need to do is create a new camera. So, create, camera. That will launch the camera right at the origin point. In terms of our scene, it's incredibly small. What we could do is shrink the scene, or just for the sake of ease, we'll increase the camera. Within the scene, we've got 3 spheres and a plane. Now a new camera. What we'll do is we'll look through our camera. We'll try to find our 3 spheres. There's one. And we've got 2 more over here. You see the clipping plane just happening, or just coming into view there. Right, 3 spheres. We want our near sphere to be in focus and the 2 far spheres out of focus. Should be handy enough. What we'll do is select our camera, so view, select camera. We'll have a look for the depth of field tab. So we can see our camera attributes here in the attribute editor. Just underneath the mental ray tab, you'll find depth of field. We want to turn it on. See a couple of values. The first is the focus distance, so the distance between the camera and the point where we want in focus. We've got an f-stop, which indicates how widely open our aperture is, and a focus region scale. So at various points in time you might want to override how much of the scene is in focus. Chances are if we were trying to focus on this here sphere, it's quite far away. For that reason, if we have this focus distance between this and the camera of 646, the further apart the two objects are, the greater the depth of field. So if we wanted the depth of field only to be within this sort of area of influence, so we wanted the near sphere to be completely blurred out, middle sphere completely blurred out as well, but only this sort of area is sharp. Then we need to look at our scaling side of things. So we'll select our camera again. We can notice as soon as I select an object, it'll give me a distance from camera value. We'll obtain this through the heads up display. Display, heads up display. You can see I've got object details ticked. Untick it, it disappears. Let's turn that on again. We now have some really nice information available to us. So we'll select the camera. We now know that this object is 90 away from our camera, so go view, select camera, and we change our focus distance to roughly 90. We'll have a look at, before we render this, we'll have a quick look at a plane render. Everything's nice and sharp. We'll stick that image in the bucket, go back to our scene, go view, select camera, we'll minimize this window. Now we'll turn on depth of field. We'll do another quick render. Now you can see this is sharp, this is slightly blurry, and far object is very blurry. To magnify this effect, we can do is reduce the f-stop. This will make a shallower depth of field, so reducing it down to a value of 2.2 should make it quite a bit more pronounced. Yep, very sharp, quite blurry, and very blurred out. Okay, easy enough to grab that one. Let's go for the middle one. This is 448 from the camera. So view, select camera, change the focus distance to 448. Let's re-render this. Pretty much everything's in focus at the moment. I mentioned the fact that the farther the distance between the 2 objects, the wider the depth of field. We could do, with an f-stop value of 2.2, it's already quite low. What we could do is reduce the scaling factor to maybe 0.1, which gives a fairly extreme sort of value. Re-render, and yeah, that's blurred, that's in focus, and that's somewhat blurred. Could reduce the values further. So, easy enough to kind of set up the depth of field. It shouldn't be too much of a black art. So, what we need to do is then look at, say, animating these values here. By animating them, we can get some very nice focus pulls. So, taking and giving attention and detail to objects nearer in or further out. hopefully that should be a real nice sort of primer for you guys on this.